Today is Saturday, August 19, 2023, and at 7:31 a.m. got pen and paper because I just got this epiphany, realization, thought, channel message, whatever you want to call it. If you add 7:31, it gets 11, and if you make the numerology of the day, it equals 7. It equals 25, which is 7. 2, 5. 2 is this discipline, whatever. 5 is freedom. 7 is being warrior. It's also words. Anyway, so it started with and please understand that this is the very first time that I make the attempt to share what I channel. English is not my first language. I actually speak Spanish, and channel message is somehow new to me, and there will be lots of grammar issues in the communication, but I hope the message gets through. I was thinking about the TV show Manifest, and specifically the episode where it's somewhere in season 4 where they are talking about the wind, and funnily enough, yesterday before bedtime is when I was watching that, and then I don't remember if it was before or after, but I saw this tarot channel reading random in TikTok where this woman was talking about how through a reading that she was talking, I cannot remember the rest, but she was mentioning how it was windy outside, and for her windy meant turmoil and like issues or something like that. And then when I woke up this morning, I realized in the tarot cards, if swords means air, and air is words, therefore swords is words, and air or wind can mean turmoil, then that's why breathing deeper and slowly is what calms the words, therefore the wind, the turmoil. Words is thinking, and that comes from the ego. That's why when we do breath work is when we heal, when we are able to even heal diseases like cancer, because the air calms the words, hence the ego, hence all the turmoil stops. That's why meditating connects to the soul, because it silences because the silence calms the ego. Because the silence calms the ego. Psychoanalyzing helps ease the ego, and the psychoanalyzing helps ease the ego and the mind through words. Psychoanalyzing helps the ego and the mind through words. but it's never good enough to fully heal because it stays in the mind and makes worse to take the lead. Therefore, the ego is taking the lead. That's why it needs to be used only to understand the mind and to understand where the ego is stuck on and the wounds coming from. But then soul work needs to be done, such as constellations and meditations, so we can make the movements necessary for the ego to see the changes in a mental way, and then breathing calms it down again. Therefore, healing starts kicking in. That's why allergies are triggered with breathing, and it's calmed or controlled by using I am reading what I wrote, and as I was writing the channel way, it is all really bad. Even my arm was getting numbed, and it was hard to write everything on the paper because it was so heavy and a lot of energy. I could feel all of the energy. That's why I know this is a channel message. And it's funny because I have all of my quartz. I used to have them, all my quartz bracelets, in my left arm because that's where my tumor is. My cancer tumor is on the left side of the breast, and it is affecting the left armpit lymph. So that's why, even though the Reiki master told me to put them on the right arm, I put them on the left, right off the bat, back in somewhere in May, and or June, I don't remember, I think it was June, and I put them on the left, and it was super heavy back then in the left, and I could feel that numbing on the left, and I know it is because the quartz were acting and regulating the energy, and I decided to move it to the right because I started to wear a watch that is reading how many steps I walked and to see my heart rate. I thought it was good for my health to be monitoring that part, and since I use my right arm a lot because I'm right-handed, I started to get the watch scratch easily. My puppy was getting tangled, or was like hurting the bracelets on the left arm because I keep on holding her with the left because I'm moving everything with the right, and so I decided to move them because of that, and then that started to cause healing on the right side of me. So the right side, it is what controls the logic, therefore controls the mind, therefore controls the words. That's why I feel that I can finally start writing down my thoughts and epiphanies and feelings, because I am processing that, and that's why I'm sharing this, because I believe it's part of healing, because by sharing this in an audio, I am sharing the words, I am sharing the air, I'm releasing it, and I'm healing, and then that air is healing others, those words are healing others around me, or at least that's what I feel Spirit is trying to do through me. Anyways, that's why allergies are triggered with breathing, and it's calmed or controlled by using meds that make the brain believe we are doing something to help the body so it can breathe better. That's why The stomach gets problems with digesting our feelings because they are affected by our thoughts, and that's how the brain is showing us that can't process the words and gives us either a bunch of fire, which is anger, in the stomach that makes us sick to the point that we can't think straight or do nothing until we process it or throw up or get diarrhea. That's why we need to cleanse the gut when we have chronic diseases with parasites in it, because diarrhea and defecating is how our mind shows us that it's having issues with the past. So when we heal the gut is when we are healing the physical manifestation of how our mind and ego was dealing or were dealing with the past. The words were processed and got out of our body. That's why when we heal, we have to change our diet, because we are helping the mind to accept the present moment and digest the words, and the ego eases out. That's why the stomach starts having issues with all of the foods causing allergies and other symptoms. It's not because of the food per se, but because we feel a craving in our mind to eat certain foods that will trigger the mind once the food has reached the stomach or the bloodstream to start causing issues in our skin and other parts of our body. So when we heal the present moment is that we get the physical manifestation of our stomach to process the food. Therefore, our thoughts and feelings is the ego, and the gut is okay with the past too, as digestion gets better. Why are you so afraid of the future? Is shown on throwing up, but if we heal the present and the past, then we stop fearing the future, because we were focused on healing the past by living in the present moment through accepting the current physical manifestation of our body. Hence, we heal the mind in the present, past, and future comes along. That's why everything is happening all at the same time. Everything is in our current reality and moment, happening all in the same exact moment, because it is all in our mind, and everything is manifested in our reality by our physical manifestations through our body. If water are feelings and emotions, that's why we need to drink more water, because we need to feel more and think less. That's why fasting heals the body, because we stop feeding new words to the brain and add just feelings. That's why we get headaches when we don't eat, because our brains want to go back to the thinking and reacting to those words. But since we stop feeding it, we start feeling, and the brain starts healing. That's why it starts hurting us, because it doesn't want to feel. It only wants to stay in its comfort zone of using logic and being in the ego, trying to protect itself from going back to what is hurting it, the roots of it. So that's why our body has more water, because it is more feelings, not matter. Hence, if we heal our feelings, we heal our body and our mind. So when we have mind, heart, and body coherence is when we get to heal our life from the most untreatable diseases by the human mind, aka doctors, because they only treat the body, not the feelings, and they barely tackle the mind. They use more fear because they are stuck in the logic of the mind, therefore the ego. This was an epiphany, a channel message, potato. I finished at 8:09 a.m. The numerology is 17 equals 8. Flowing. 8 is flowing in abundance. 9 is unconditional love and closures. 1 is starting, beginnings. And 7 is water again. And then 1 plus 7 equals 8. 8 is flowing in abundance. That's why I needed to share this message. Thanks for listening.